killing raunchy comedy right now. But are they getting even dirtier than dudes these days?
Ready to party!
Comedian Colin Quinn's talking about how he collared Jerry Seinfeld for his brand new cop show and his big screen train wreck.
Monogamy isn't realistic.
Monogamy isn't realistic.
And we're making Monday Fun Day because we partnered with vendors to give you an incredible 74% off the hottest items on Must Have Monday. This is The View with Whoopi, Nicole Wallace, Rosie Perez. And today, top chef Padma Lakshmi is jumping back into the co-host chair. It all starts now.
Welcome to The View. Welcome to The View, y'all. Hey, you know, the news broke this weekend that Leonard Nimoy passed away. He was 83. You know, he became a cultural icon as Mr. Spock on Star Trek, but he was also a photographer and a poet and a musician and an amazing man. But one wonders what it was about Spock that, I don't know, grabbed people so that people just... they were into him. They're just quite wonderful.
I think it's also because he was the first alien in American culture, but he was warm. He was sage and logical, and he wasn't this angry monster or this dangerous thing. It was a way to have a positive image of an extraterrestrial being.
Well, I think it's clearly an indication of how great of an actor he was. God rest his soul. Mm-hmm. That's why we all felt that way about him, because that was his character. Yeah. And the essence of the man who he was just kind of bled through that.
Yeah.
And so for me, it was just his incredible talent. Just, you know, that will be missed.
Did you guys know him personally?
I did.
Yeah, was he a cool guy? Seemed cool.
He was quite wonderful. You know, he's quite wonderful. I was on Star Trek,
I know,
The Next Generation, for quite a while, and
yeah. There you are.
There I am. You know, and when we made the movies, you know, Spock was someplace and Bill Shatner was there. I mean, you know,
cool cats,
they're just
right?
really good people. Yeah. But he was also a huge cheerleader for women. He did these amazing drawings of Zoftic women, just big old women, like women look with, you know, stuff that's uneven and booty, and he was just remarkable. He was just a remarkable cat.
He was also a big champion of equal pay for women.
Yeah.
I read an interview that he gave some time ago where he said that he was lucky to play such a character so early in his life because it really did affect how he was in his own life after Star Trek, and it made him conscious of making sure that his life had greater meaning. I mean, I was on Star Trek, but not for a long time. I was just a guest on Enterprise, and I played an alien, and all I could think of was Leonard Nimoy.
Yeah.
All I could think of.
Are you the only one here who never played an alien?
No.
There she is. I missed her. Well, you know, a NASA astronaut gave Leonard Nimoy the logical send-off with the Vulcan hand salute from the International Space Station. Yeah.
And he did do so much. He was also narrating the In Search Of.
He was amazing. He was just a great cat.
I think what's amazing is that hat you wore on Soul Train. I mean, on Star Trek.
They used to call me Shuttlehead.
Hang on.
They used
I
to...
gotta see it again.
No, that's not me. That's a white guy's hand.
Yeah. Whoopi in that scene with that hat.
Can you bring the hat back?
There you go.
Now, that's a small version. I had them this big. Oh, no. They made hats this big. They were this big. They used to call me Shuttlehead because it looks like the Enterprise.
Yeah.
That's
You look beautiful in a hat.
I can't remember anything else we were supposed to talk about today. I
Wow.
picture just
There's a lot to talk about that.
It's crazy. Like Saturday Night Live is getting a lot of heat for their parody of the Toyota Super Bowl commercial. Remember about a dad taking his daughter to the airport as she goes off to join the army, and you know, and it brings a twist. Well, this is what Saturday Night Live did.
Looks like your ride's here. You be careful, okay?
Dad, it's just ISIS.
Take care of her. Death to America.
So this set off a furious debate online from people saying SNL went way too far with this. Any thoughts?
I'm interested in what you think because you've done comedy for so many years. How do you feel?
I've always felt that the best way to get back at boneheads like ISIS is to make them the joke.
Well, you know,
That's just me.
there was, yes. Charlie Chaplin, the great Charlie Chaplin, did it first when he did the movie
The Great Dictator.
The Great Dictator, where he made fun of Hitler, and there was an uproar about that. And then the great Mel Brooks, I love you. He did it as well. You know, in his movies, and also in the producers and on the play, Springtime for Hitler.
Yeah.
And just ridiculing them, and you know, and it's comedy, and I agree with you. I agree with you because ISIS is a horrible organization, and poke fun at them, make them look even more ridiculous than they are. I'm all for it.
Yeah, I don't think there's any punishment strong enough. I'm for annihilating ISIS. I think we should give guns and bombs to anyone willing to go and stick it to them, but leave SNL out of it. I mean, my God, we gotta laugh. These are grim times. This is a wretched enemy, a horrific enemy. The truth is, the same night that aired, Saturday night, the video aired from Turkey of the 3 girls who had left England. And this is what's happening. And if comedy is supposed to make us laugh at some of the bleakest things actually happening in our times, I think they nailed it.
Yeah.
I think they did a great job, and I hope they do it some more. You know, ISIS has just declared war on Twitter, claiming they're targeting co-founder Jack Dorsey for his efforts to block the group from tweeting. Well, dudes, maybe nobody wants to read this anymore. Maybe nobody wants to see your damn videos. Maybe we're not doing it anymore. Maybe that's the message. See my middle finger.
You know, though, this is so, you know, I just talked about guns and bombs. This is a much more formidable tactic, frankly, in the war against ISIS, is cutting off their access to social media. And it's a real gray area. I mean, Twitter will, I think, and Facebook and a lot of the new media companies will readily turn over a child pornographer, but they're pretty reluctant to get involved in other countries, in China, where they're human rights violators. They're not very cooperative. But this is huge. If Twitter's going to help reveal and rat out the terrorists and thugs using social media to recruit the girls like they did in London or in the UK, it's a huge step.
And the gentleman,
I applaud Twitter for doing this. It's a huge step.
It's 21st century tactics, war tactics.
It's keeping up with them.
That's right. And I applaud Twitter for being that brave. And I wish, I agree with you, other social media outlets would comply as well. Because this is how they are getting into our peers.
And I think Twitter, like, if it's a mode of communication, you know, with the Arab uprising, we saw that how Twitter was really helpful. In this case, they're using it for their ill purposes, but I think they may come up with something else. You know?
Well,
and we should be clear, there's more that Twitter can do. And, you know, in Iran, the uprising was basically killed when the Iranian regime shut off access to Twitter. So after the young girl was killed and that image spread around the world in a nanosecond, they shut off access. So it can make a difference in these countries where we don't have camera crews. You know, we can't see what's going on. So Twitter can do more, and I'm happy. I think if they see that there's so much positive reaction to them getting involved here.
And you're going after the wrong people, man. You're going after the wrong guy. You know, you don't go after, you think Y'all got to get it together.
Yeah, and because of what's going on in Congress right now with the whole, no, not only the net neutrality, they already passed that, which is fantastic, but also with in regards to the Homeland Security, the dollars and stuff like that. This is not a time to play. This is not time to play with Homeland Security, and I hope they work it out.
They have to. They have to. Hey, we're going to go and come back with more hot topics. You know, the other day, Oklahoma Senator Jim Inhofe brought a prop to the Senate floor in an effort to refute climate change. Take a look.
In case we have forgotten, because we keep hearing that 2014 has been the warmest year on record, I asked the chair, you know what this is? It's a snowball. And that's just from outside here. So it's very, very cold out, very unseasonal. So here, Mr. President, catch this.
Well, what is the point? What was very upsetting to me is that a man of his stature, a man of his age, doesn't understand what climate change really means. And the reason why we're having so much more snowfall right now is that the polar vortex, everyone hears the polar vortex, that is the whirlwind that seals around the North Pole that keeps it cold. Because of climate change and the change in the stratosphere, the ozone layer, that circle has been broken. And that's where you get, it dips and a cold jet stream comes shooting down the northeast Canada and southeast coast. And that's why we're getting so much snow. And that's why other regions are getting hotter, because it affects the world, not just the United States. The United States is only 2% of the land on planet Earth. So it was just very disconcerting to me. That said, I do believe in climate change, but I also believe that we need a lot more years to study this to make a concrete decision. But, you know, there is something happening, and if we can make a change, we should do something about it.
Well, RP, what bothered me was that a man of his age and a man of his stature was throwing stuff inside that chamber. You know, it takes forever. You know, I mean, my 3-year-old throws snow in the house, and I'm like, put that down. But, you know, I don't know where you have to live to think that the weather isn't changing. Yesterday was March 1st. It took me 4 hours. We went Donner Party in the Wallace family last night. 4 hours in a car with my 3-year-old, 2 dogs, my mother and my husband. So figure that out, guys. You know, where do you live that the weather isn't all screwed up? Where do you live that you can't tell that we're having historic floods? He's from Oklahoma. I don't know, maybe it's just always cold and always hot. But the weather's changing. And let me just say on the politics of this, it's terrible for the Republican Party to look like we can't acknowledge reality. It is perfectly fine to say that as a party, we're not going to hamstring our economy to do something here in America unless we require India and China and every country on the planet to do the same thing. That's fine. That's good politics. That's good policy. But it is moronic to throw snow in the Capitol and say, I don't know, I don't think anything's changing.
Well, the only thing that snowball illustrated was his own lack of knowledge and stupidity. I mean, didn't he write a book about this subject?
You know, I'm not a fan, so I don't know.
He wrote a book, and there are people that agree with him, but just the politics, the future. If we want to get people, you know, younger than him to join our party, I think it's time to stop denying and just say, let's debate the solutions, not whether or not it's changing. Where do you live that it isn't crazy weather?
I don't know.
I mean, you know, it's crazy,
I don't know.
right?
Look at what happened to the dinosaur. That's all I'm going to say. Weather started getting weird. Dinosaurs were like, what's going on? And next thing you knew, the earth sneezed and...
Yeah, bye-bye.
You know, so something's happening. Clearly something's happening. But, you know, remember 25 years ago, you probably weren't even born, when they told you to stop using aerosol cans?
Oh, yeah.
Remember that? Because it was affecting everything.
It was the best hairspray.
I guess we forgot about that. You know, nobody's not using the aerosol anymore. People are, you know, there's more stuff going up into the earth.
And you know what, that's a good point, because when there was a national campaign about let's stop using aerosols because it's destroying
rain, right?
Yeah, destroying the ozone layer.
Ozone layer. That's right.
Destroying the ozone layer. What was great about it, the nation came together. Everyone became conscious of it, and the sales of
shamed you out of your deodorant.
It just dropped. And you know, so and that's not happening right now.
Well, you know, part of it is that we're on Earth with other people. So what's happening in China?
It's true. That is the problem. politics.
Well, in a
That's
funny
it.
way, because it's one thing if we do everything here that we're supposed to do.
Yeah.
But if India and China don't join in, it makes it tougher to sort of save the whole world.
Right.
So we have to get leaders from around the world to recognize that there is an issue. Part of it is man-made,
For sure.
and part of it is just what the Earth is doing.
Yes.
You know,
Even if-
it's kind of kooky.
Even in the meantime, before we do get agreement from all those other countries, we can still try. The argument that not everyone's doing it, so we don't have to do it either, is wrong.
Oh, no.
Can we go back to the deodorant? Are we not supposed to use that still?
What?
The deodorant and hairspray, that's still bad. I don't have any, I'm just wondering.
No, I haven't used aerosol.
Me neither, because you got
underarm
shamed out of
spray.
it.
Well,
but
yeah. And also, it's
still
too
bad?
cold when it hits your skin. I don't like it. I'd rather just roll it on there like that. I think it's better. Anyway, you know, actress Michelle Rodriguez surprised a lot of people when she was asked if she had any interest in playing the Green Lantern, who has previously been played by white men.
Should she be driving? She didn't look sober.
You know, she did post an apology, you know, saying that you know, she I don't know, put her foot in her mouth or something like that. And I love Michelle Rodriguez, and I appreciate her. I really do. And I appreciate her apology. That said, it is so hard. You know, there are people, there are writers. Minorities are not lazy. We are blocked. There's a big difference. There are writers out there, Black, Latin, Asian, Native Americans. They're trying to create their own stories, whether they're superheroes or not, and they are blocked. They are blocked, and so it's not that easy. A few get in, you know, but not all. And that statement does such a great disservice, because if you look at the great public theater and Joseph Papp, when he started to say, why is Shakespeare only played by white actors? Why can't they be played by actors of everybody, of all colors? Because stories are about human beings.
Well, that's the thing. The thing that makes these characters superheroes is not the color of their skin, except for the Hulk or whatever. But Superman is not super because of him being white. He's super because he can fly, he has X-ray vision. Same with Wonder Woman. So why can't we have a Black Superman or a Latin Wonder Woman? Like, I don't see the problem.
Well, I'd love to see a Latin Wonder Woman.
Well, there was.
I'd like to see it.
Excuse me, there was, because Linda Carter was Latin.
I might. I know she has this information, so I have to pull it out of her. We'll be right back with more Hot Topics.
Why Tori and Dean's night out with their 6- and 7-year-olds has parents fighting mad. Next.
This is crazy, but it's important. The World Health Organization says that about 1.1 billion people are at risk of losing their hearing, largely because of listening to headphones at dangerous levels. Do you guys wear headphones?
I do, and I always think about taking them off. I feel like I wear them too much because I can't believe that it would be healthy in that way. And this came up when 20 years ago when, you know, the Sony Walkman first came out and you had these, and I remember actually a salesman who sold it saying, this is not good, don't buy this. And of course, 20 years later, everyone on a train or a bus or at the gym has one on for hours and hours and hours, and it's worrying.
When I was a choreographer, I always had the Walkman on, and I did lose some hearing, and because of it. So now, if I do use the earbuds, it's at 15 minutes, 20 minutes, and I get paranoid and I take them out. It's the same thing with the using the phone too, because people forget using the phone. You have the earbuds in for a long time.
Well, I have hearing aids. I don't have them on, but I wear them at my house, mostly because I like everything really loud. So, you know, 60s rock and roll, you go to the Fillmore and you're standing right next to the speakers. You know, it's amazing we can hear anything. But if you have any hearing loss, make sure you go and get yourself checked out, because it's very, you know, if you can stop it, you should. Stop it in its tracks, because not being able to hear is a bit of a bitch. I can tell you that from experience. I'm just saying. So, you know, the New York Times columnist Maureen Dowd looked at how movies like Bridesmaids and shows like Girls have ushered in a new era of women using raunchy comedy to get laughs.
Okay, I read this last night, and I was dying to call both of you and say, see? I mean, like, this is what I think is interesting about what Maureen wrote, was that she's writing about how the market is now responding. But hasn't this always been the case? I mean, women are funnier. Women
Women are funnier. They're funnier. They're just as raunchy. And the sexism is dissipating in that regard, and God bless America 2 times for that. You know, but you know, when I mean, hello, women, when you get together and you start talking about sex. Well, yes, it's an X-rated conversation.
What do the men do? They run so fast. Like, my husband doesn't run faster at the gym than he does, like, when my friends are sitting around talking. And, I mean, I've watched you forever. Like, you made this.
You've been doing this for years.
I've always been raunchy. Always.
Funny, like even from when you're a child, the first jokes are about going to the bathroom and farts and all of this. And, you know, as we like to tell Krishna, everybody farts.
We use toot, and so Liam will run around saying, everybody toots, everybody toots. But it is funny. But I remember asking you, like, how do they know it's funny, a toot? And you explained it all to me, for which I was grateful.
There are just certain things that work. And when I first hit, I was the raunchiest, according to newspapers and things, I was the raunchiest, strangest looking comic they had ever seen.
All right. I love that.
You know.
And the world is caught up.
And the world has caught up, you know, because now I'm tame compared to what folks are doing, you know, or am I?
Well, that's the thing. You always have to push the envelope, right? Because we become desensitized. And so the fact that women are allowed to be more raunchy now is, I think, a sign of the times. And also because we're okay with it and we're asking for it. We need to do something more to be funny.
Well, that's a sad statement. Women are allowed to be more raunchy.
Well, you know what?
That's a sad statement.
That's crazy, right?
Well, female comics have always had a bit of an edge, whether you're, you know, looking at...
Chuck Schumer's daughter,
Amy, yes.
Amy
Schumer, she's fantastic.
Amy Schumer, I love her show.
Yes.
And she's so disgustingly gross.
What's her name? Sarah Silverman is always...
Yeah, you know, see, I'm tame compared to that.
See, it's interesting. I also don't think she's disgustingly gross. I think she's just honest. Like, we all think these things. And that's why it's funny.
And it's disgustingly gross and it's funny. I'm not dissing her.
Well,
I'm picking her up.
But what's more disgustingly gross than this? Tori Spelling and Dean McDermott had a lot of people angry at them for taking their 6- and 7-year-olds to watch the UFC fight this weekend, where champ Ronda Rousey beat Kat Zingano in just 14 seconds. I mean, beat her ass, child.
It took just 14 seconds.
14 seconds. She took care of it, but people are upset because they took the kids.
Can you reenact what you showed me in the dressing room?
No, because I have a dress on.
Rosie can do the move.
No, I can't do the move.
Yes, she can.
No, I can.
She can.
No,
she can do the
let's
move.
be clear. No. Yes, I studied martial arts for years. Shout out to my Sifu Shi Yaming Omitofo. Yes. But I can never, in my wildest dreams, compare to Ronda Rousey. She's the best female fighter on this planet.
You think that's why why they took them to see her?
I understand why she wants to. Tori Spelling wants to take her daughter because Ronda Rousey is a role model in my opinion. That said, I don't like when kids go to fights, and I'm the biggest boxing fan. I'm sorry, boxing heads, I have to say this is true. It always bothers me when I see kids who are like from infants to like 5, 6, 7, 8 years old watching their parent in a boxing match or watching their parent at an MMA or UFC. I think that it's an adult sport. I do, and I think it's for adult entertainment. I don't think it's appropriate for kids.
Well, it's not adult entertainment like you're thinking.
Right. No.
I have taken my daughter to the boxing gym to see me practice boxing. Now, and while I'm boxing there, you know, with my coach, she has seen 2 women fighting in the ring, because I also want her to see real live examples of strong women, of women who can
But that's
protect
different.
themselves.
That's different from watching guys in a UFC cage. There's a complete difference. And I agree. I think it's wonderful. And I said that Ronda Rousey is a role model for young girls. She's also a role model for young boys because she is a badass. Yes. She is a badass.
Hey, you know what? So, before I get to this next thing, I just want to let y'all know, in case you're looking, I don't know if you read visual comics like this, these kind of things, but I'm in one. And it's called Love of Wonder, Volume 5. And I'm very cute. There I am. And the man who wrote this is Frank Bedard. And he's written a series of great books. And I just love it. So I just wanted folks to know about this because ABC is now kicking off a first book initiative where they're partnering with popular Instagram page Hot Dudes Reading to get books in the hands of children in need. Now stay tuned for more, and I guess there'll be more stuff and we'll explain to you what it actually means, but they're kicking it off today. I don't know. We'll be right back with the amazing, fabulous Colin Quinn.
Once upon a time, there were children who didn't know the magic of books and hadn't discovered stories that would teach them incredible things. Now you can give stories that change lives. Go to firstbook.org/be-inspired to help give all children a chance to live happily ever after.
Comedian Colin Quinn is telling you his epic fail that made him miss the best night ever.
After Bash, and now he's headed to the big screen with Amy Schumer in Trainwreck and the new web series Cop Show. I think I meant Trainwreck. Take a look.
Dolores Kensington, can I get you a drink?
Yes, I would like an artisanal cookie and a Pabst Blue Ribbon beer. Can I tell you something? I find you very attractive and handsome. You're the type of guy who could get a girl like me to quit dealing drugs. Why would I ever say that? That's not how people talk.
She feels it. Put yourself in her position. She's her whole life surrounded by these nerdy hipsters, and then she comes face to face with this. Amy knows this is quality, and one thing about Amy's about career, and she knows that being on a show like this is good for her career.
Please welcome the fabulous Colin Quinn.
Is that the weirdest part of the show when somebody comes out and you kind of have to hug him and you're like,
Well, you didn't really come the right way, so that gets a little weird.
Well, I don't know.
Hey, before we get into
the hug protocol,
What's
it's a
that?
very serious thing, the hug protocol.
Yeah, it's a weird thing, right?
Yeah.
You don't meet somebody, they come out and start hugging you. You're lucky I wasn't trying to kiss everybody. Because you get away with it. What, are people going to turn away like that on the show? Be like John Travolta with, what's her face? Scarlett, right. I'm sure Scarlett Johansson really appreciates being called what's-her-face by me.
Yeah.
So that would really make her day.
Would have been worse. Listen, before we get to Cop Show, you're an SNL alum. You and I sat next to each other.
Yes, we did. We had a long time at the show.
At the anniversary show. And you went to the after party.
I busted out of the ass. Unlike you, I had to hold her in her seat. She was like, I'm busting out of here. I was like, no, you have to wait. There's going to be paparazzi.
When I heard how long, I sit next to her for 1 hour. She doesn't sit still for 2 seconds. She's always fidgeting. When I heard it was 3 hours, I said, well, how did you get out? Did she stay the whole time?
Yeah, she did.
Yeah. Because Colin said, if you leave, they're all going to know that you left.
But she's like, well, I'm famous, but nobody cares. Famous. Like, people see me in the street, like, hey, Colin Quinn, help me with the transmission. Like, won't be like people are coming up talking to her, and then she has to keep saying Colin's here. I'm like, hi. They go, yeah. All night. It was a little annoying for me.
You missed everybody, right? You missed all the performances?
Well, I went to the after party because it was a big event, and I said, I better go to the after party because I hate going to those things, so I'm going to go, And then I was there like a half hour. I was like, this party stinks. Nobody, just people talking. I'm leaving. The next day you find out, the Rolling Stones, the Beatles got back together, whatever.
Let's talk about your show. Let's talk about your show. The Cop Show, it's a series about what goes on behind the scenes of a cop show. Like, how did you come up with these ideas?
I came up with it out of where I come up with all my ideas, out of a strong, true resentment against, is this creepy? I was just like, what? Because I was never on Law and Order, which is impossible.
I was on Law and Order.
I have been on Law and Order. If it makes you feel any better.
I'm a Republican,
I've been in the city
make you feel better.
for 20-something years. I've been on, I've been in show business. Like I said, everybody
Maybe they
kinda
can't
knows
find you. Should we
What's
give
that?
it-
No,
maybe there's-
it's too late now.
Yeah?
I did my own show as a response.
You're busy now. Now you're busy. Wait, but seriously. Don't be mad. I think your web
I'm just getting mad thinking about it, you know?
I think this
I hope
is
people
gonna
don't
be
think it's a joke.
huge.
What's that?
This is going to be huge.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be huge. You can see it on L Studios and YouTube. But anyway.
I have to ask you a question. You've been working on a book called The Coloring Book?
Yeah, it's a coloring book.
It's all about ethnicity?
Yeah, it's about my childhood and about ethnicity, and it's really timely. So why I gotta write this book? But you guys know you're New York girl, you know what I mean? Bushwick, I mean, look at the change. Bushwick, when she was growing up, forget, now it's you go on the L train at 2 o'clock in the morning, it looks like a ski lift.
Yeah.
But this book is about, it's about everyone's ethnicity and, you know, the way I've seen them all throughout my life.
I'm so glad you wrote this.
Thanks.
Krista came home from school and she said, Mom, I told people I was Indian. She had a, bindi on her head. And they said I wasn't Indian because I look white. I said, tell them you're brown on the inside, honey. Only the way I knew how to respond.
And you're on Girls, too, so it's not just the web show.
Yeah,
On Girls, just generally on the show.
On the show.
On the show. I thought generally on Girls. You got to come back, man. You're here. You got to come back and play with us.
I'll be glad to come back. I could be like the, what do you call it, Guy Friday, whatever it's called.
Yeah,
Why can't it be that guy?
You can be that guy.
You could do a Guy Friday with you. Absolutely.
I mean,
Yeah.
we could have
We
changed
love
that.
Colin Quinn.
Yeah.
Check out his web series, Cop Show, on lstudio.com. And we will be right back. I'm going to get on that show.
Up to 74% off really cool stuff while supplies last. Back to take us shopping, please welcome my friend, lifestyle expert Tai Beauchamp. Hi, darling.
Nicole. Hi, baby.
How are you?
I love when we color coordinate. I love when we color coordinate. So this segment is all about those small add-ons that you need in your life.
Yes.
You heard it here first.
Yep, absolutely.
Must have Monday small add-ons that you need in your life.
Absolutely.
So
I need these.
Aren't they so? They're really cute, but they're also very functional. So these
are. They might make me run more.
That's not a bad idea.
Right?
The TNT headphones, and these are from Subject. And what's so great about them is that they're compact. They have a rate low design as well. And they also have drivers, 40mm drivers, that give you super crystal sound for your bass, for your treble, all of that.
I can barely hear you, so I'm guessing they're good.
No, they're really good. And then they also have the built-in microphone as well, so you can use that. Exactly, you can take your calls. They come in five great colors, which we like, so you can get one for everyone in your family. The retail price of these,
what do we have?
$50, right? Because appliances are really expensive.
Yeah.
The deal price for Must Have Monday, $20. Wow! Really, really, really good.
Okay, and now I understand these are the kind of glasses I should be wearing.
These are the kind of glasses, but we have lots of glasses that you need.
Okay.
So these are sunglasses from AJ Morgan. And
see, you look perfect.
Thank you. You look gorgeous too, but you know, you spend so much on sunglasses, and then I get so frustrated when I lose them, right?
Yeah.
So you don't have to worry about
one a week, and then I find them in the car.
And then you have kids who like literally sit on them, all of that other stuff. So we have all these great styles and colors as well. We actually have 8 styles and 20 colors. So literally everyone that you need for every day of the week, you want to get here on Must Have Monday. The retail price of these sunglasses, $50. The deal price for Must Have Monday, between $22 and $25 for
wow. Okay. I can get more than one. Okay, now what do we have here?
Well, we know that our viewers love their hair appliances, right? So we have the automatic curling one by Kiss Professional. So really great for the longer hairstyles if you like to wear your hair wavy. And you literally just press this button here, and it really wraps around your curling wand, and you can just get those perfect waves. What's great is that they're infused with diamond, right, ceramic, so it's also it also protects your hair, right, and you don't have to worry about burning it. The retail price of this, really expensive, $100. The deal price for Must Have Monday, $33 for a discount of 67% off.
Wow.
Right?
That's great. Okay, now these are my favorite. What have we got here?
I am absolutely obsessed with these watches. So these are watches from Peugeot. You actually have 4 diamonds there on the face, but you also have those crystals. You see those moving crystals there?
Move around.
Right? So they look super luxe, super rich. They come with this leather band. They come in 5 different colors here.
I love the green here.
Very, very chic. The retail price of these watches, very expensive, of course, right? You know I have expensive taste. $150. The deal price for Must Have Monday, $59. For a discount of 61% off.
That's amazing. I'm going to get one of these. I love them.
I'm actually getting all of these. I'm getting all of these.
Okay, what have we got
So
here?
we have these messenger and tote bags from Vine Street Market. These are celebrity favorites. They're actually faux suede, so you don't have to worry about, you know, being eco-friendly. If you're eco-friendly, these are great. They carry up to 60 pounds, so you can use these going to the grocery store, your eco-friendly bag. The retail price of these bags between, come on, let's wait for it. Let's wait for it. $155 to $175. Deal price between $40 and $45. 75% off.
nice. And
Very chic, yeah.
I'm just saying a lot of people environmentally sound
Exactly.
are, you know, trying to
Exactly.
save
Right.
paper
Really
bags.
relevant and easy.
Okay, I need to get better about that. So, our thanks to Tai Beauchamp. Members of our audience are going home with the automatic curling wand by Kiss.